Nick, thanks for spending a bit of time with us today. To start with, can you give us a bit about your background? How did you get into cricket in the first place? Was it your main sport?
During my time at school, teachers sort of had a look and thought, well, he can catch and he can hit a ball, and sort of geared me towards that. But in South Africa, you sort of just take part for a long part of your sort of adolescent years. And then once I hit about 13 years of age, which is when I properly started taking on cricket, which is pretty late, obviously enjoyed it. And I liked the fact that you lived and died by your decisions you made on a cricket field. I liked the fact that you played a team sport as an individual. And I liked the fact that you couldn't get bailed out by the rest of your team if you made an error.
So what's life as a cricket pro like? Is it hard work?
Yeah, it's hard work. It's the best job in the world. At the end of the day, you do what you enjoy, which I'm sure a lot of people do in their day-to-day lives, but you're outdoors and you're actually playing a game. When I was a kid, my dad only stopped me working with him, or allowed me a little bit more time away from working with him, because as a good Greek dad, cricket did not exist as a job. And he did say to me, he said, that's not a job, that's fun. Job is working with me or going to university, which I did as well. But no, the best part of it is that you're actually with your mates doing what you enjoy out in the sunshine.
So what's your career highlights? What's the best thing that you've done?
That's tough, because a lot of people will always give you trophy wins, individual performances. I was a little bit different in that way, in that there are two particular innings that I played against pretty good sides where I didn't get 100, but they were really fighting innings, and we landed up winning on the back of those innings. So those two innings stick out. Playing in the same team as Shane Warne, is, for me as a wicketkeeper, it's very different if you a batter or a bowler or someone, but as a wicketkeeper, he's only really had 3 guys who have kept him through his career. So for me, that would be a career highlight.
You then moved over here. That probably wasn't on your radar at that stage.
Yeah, I knew I always wanted to get back into coaching. I really enjoyed helping out the young guys within the team. I really enjoyed mentoring the young guys, and it sort of keeps that edge up. I'm quite a competitive being, but yeah, I always wanted to get it. I have separate business issues in property, funny enough, but yeah, I wanted to get into sports and get into cricket. So I was really, really fortunate to be able to have this opportunity, and I've loved my time here.
So is there a limit to how far Guernsey can go in cricket, or is it down to sort of mentality and how hard they can work?
It's very much limited to the mentality. There's a ceiling at the moment that Guernsey cricket are at, and we've pushed that ceiling nicely at the moment, but it'll be purely down to mentality and commitment. And like I say, it's changing a lot. Changing your physical commitment is probably the easier part. Changing your mental commitment to something is a little bit tougher. All I know is that we're going in the right direction at the moment. I know when I first arrived, the mentality was very much based on outcome. If you won something, then you did really well on a day. If you lost something, then you did really badly on a day. And we changed that mentality completely, and sort of accepting the fact that you can play really well on a day, but your opposition played better, and we're happy with that. You can play really badly on a day and win a game of cricket, and we're not happy with that, because that doesn't help the process moving forward. So that's the mentality that needs to change. You'll always have that frustration of what is actually more important, and always having to ask people, is a club game of X more important than turning out for your national team, regardless of what event we've got on? So you're always fighting that. But I really enjoy it, and it's a great challenge. It's a stepping stone for me to move up the ranks, coaching wise. And you do need those challenges.
So outside of cricket, what's it like living over here?
To be honest, I don't have much of a life outside of cricket. I mean, 5 days a week, whether it's the gym or where the guys are practicing at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be up at sort of 5:15. And then obviously with them being amateurs, I've got to accommodate them after hours, after work, plus all the stuff that goes on during the day. So I might get home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Trying to fit in something social in and amongst it all has been pretty tough.
So what's going on with England, or as a South African, don't you care?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really care, like whether they do well or badly, but I'm always interested in learning from what they're doing, and what they do well and what they do probably not so well. And over the summer, obviously the Australian summer, did pretty badly. English cricket from the outside, for me, is an environment which is very rigid. It's very military, which doesn't allow for natural flair. You get marked by a piece of paper that says, you're this way, you're this way, you're this way. If you tick all our boxes, you can play for us. If you don't tick all our boxes, then you're not one of us. And I'm always a little bit wary about environments like that. I think you need to let people be people. Everyone brings a different set of skills to your team, and they need to be complemented by other people. Obviously, the management have to put a team together that complements each other. You can't have you can't have 11 Kevin Petersons, but you also can't have 11 Joe Roots because you're going nowhere. So, yeah, I think they've learned a lot from the summer. I think they got a little bit complacent over the last 2 or 3 years, but I also think they need to relax a little bit. It looked like a pretty stressful summer. I mean, and it was. And results-wise, I think they were their own worst enemy.